What is up, YouTube? It's Lions Fan Express coming at you with that man-to-man press, and we're starting a brand new video series transitioning from the NFL season into draft season, and this is going to be my top 5 NFL draft prospects for the 2024 draft, and it's going to be for each position. Today we're starting off with, of course, quarterbacks, and yeah, this is a really great class. Got a lot of talent. It's got some depth. It's got some guys that can play day one. There's also some guys in there that can develop into potential starters as well. So here are my top 5 draft prospects for the quarterback position in this year's draft. So starting off at number 5, I have Bo Nix from Oregon. He's 6'2", 217 pounds, and he's a dual threat B quarterback, meaning he's a pass first quarterback, but he has the ability to use his legs when he needs to. Looking at his 2023 stats, he had 4,508 passing yards, 45 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, a 77.4 completion percentage, and a 91.2 QBR. Those are some really great stats. There's a reason why he was in the Heisman running. He had a stellar year at Oregon. So looking at his grading, based on how I did the grading system, I broke it into 5 categories: intangibles, physical tools, stats, IQ, and arm talent. He got an 84 grade, which is a mid to late second round grade in my system. My quarterback comparison for him is Daniel Jones. I feel like they have similar play styles and just similar, kind of talent level as well. When you look at some pros, he's accurate. He's got a maturity about him when you see him in his interviews. And he's also an athlete. He's pretty good at, using his legs when he needs to. Also, some pros is when he's under pressure, he can get a little antsy in the pocket, which also affects his footwork. It can get a little sloppy. And he's also an older prospect as well, so his ceiling might not be as high as some of these other prospects. Some potential landing spots I have are the Arizona Cardinals, the LA Chargers, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Those are heavy RPO systems, and I think he would do it well in that kind of system. So looking at it from an overall standpoint, Oregon has had a list of superstar quarterbacks, including Marcus Mariota, Justin Herbert, and it's only right to throw Bo Nix's name up there as well. His strong faith and maturity levels are things you like to see from a veteran quarterback. Nix has a cannon for an arm, but he's also deadly accurate as a passer. He's a pass-first quarterback, but he has the athleticism to make plays with his legs when the play breaks down. He can scan the defense, recognize coverage, and find the open receiver in 3 seconds. Internal timer. But some problems with Nix is that he's an older prospect. He misses low throws. He panics when he's under pressure, and his footwork in the pocket could use some work. There's a Jekyll and Hyde scenario for Bo Nix's NFL career. Based on his time at Auburn and at Oregon, he needs to thrive. He needs a competent coaching staff, weapons all around him, and a good offensive line. If he's in the right system, you're most likely going to get Oregon Bo Nix. If not, he could struggle and regress back into his Auburn Bo Nix. I think he projects well as a second-round pick. He's a conservative choice in the mid to late second round, but I could see teams going with a younger, more dynamic option before him. All right, and then number 4, I have Michael Penix. He's 6'3", 213 pounds, and I have him listed as a gunslinger because he can sling that ball down the field, and he's not afraid to make some throws that other quarterbacks won't. So looking at his 2023 NFL stats, he had 4,903 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, a 65.4 completion percentage, and a 84.1 QBR. So based on his grading system, he got an 85 in my grading system, which is a mid to late first round, preferably probably in the later first round. His player comparison is Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, they're both lefty quarterbacks. They both have thrived in the similar systems, and I think that they both just have similar play styles, similar builds, and also similar histories when it comes to injuries as well. They both have struggled with injuries in the past, which I'll get into in a little bit later. But some pros: he's a strong arm quarterback. His decision making, for the most part, is pretty solid. And he also has pretty good awareness as well when he's in the pocket. Some things he can improve on is his mechanics. He doesn't have the best throwing mechanics, which affects his accuracy at times. He can be a little off, and then also his durability is a major concern. He's going to have to pass his physicals if he wants to get drafted as high as he wants. And some potential landing spots, I have the Saints, the Steelers, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Those are potential landing spots for him in the 2024 NFL Draft. And of course, looking at him overall, Penix is a tough competitor and a leader you want at the quarterback position. He's a gunslinger in the pocket, but he's also a sneaky athlete that can catch a defense sleeping on occasion. He has a good arm that pushes the ball downfield and hits short throws for the most part, makes good decisions with the football. The biggest knock on him will be his age, his durability, and his mechanics, which sometimes makes him sail passes too high or too low into the dirt. He seems like a high floor player, but his lower ceiling makes me question how much he can truly grow in the NFL. I think Penix could be a first-round pick, maybe in the later round to a team that needs insurance at the quarterback position, but he most likely falls in that late first round or later, depending on his medicals. If his injury concerns and age weren't a factor, he might just be the second, maybe even quarterback number one prospect. He is more pro ready out of all the other quarterbacks, in my opinion. So that's why I have him as high as I do. And then at number 3, I have Caleb Williams. He's from USC. He's 6'1", 215 pounds. He's a dual threat B quarterback as well. You guys are gonna see a trend with a lot of these quarterbacks. They're not just with their arms, but they're talented as athletes as well. And if you look at his stats, he had so in 2023, he had 3,633 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a 68.6 completion percentage, and an 82.4 QBR. So with the grading system, I know this is going to come out. I know that you guys are going to probably disagree with this. I know a lot of boards have him as the number 1 overall prospect. But for me personally, after doing his grading, I gave him an 86, which is a mid to late first round grade. His quarterback comparison, a lot of people are throwing out Patrick Mahomes. I think he's more like Kyler Murray. I think they both come from the Lincoln Riley system, more of an air raid, RPO system. He did really well there. Both are talented with arm strength, and both can run the ball as well when needed and make plays with their legs. So looking at some of his pros, I mean, he's an improviser. Again, you're going to see it all over his tape. He can make plays out of nothing. Elite arm. He's got really good arm talent. Can make the throws. He's got all the tools that you kind of look for in a quarterback at the NFL level. Some cons are he was in a college system. His rhythm. He kind of just sits back and just waits to throw the ball. Doesn't really get into a quick release, quick rhythm. And also he doesn't really check down. He misses some wide open receivers, and you can see it in tape that he just misses guys, and it's instead of throwing the ball to a check down, he forces the ball into tight windows. So yeah, that's something to look out for. But his potential landing spots, I have him, potentially going to Denver, the Vikings, or even the Raiders potentially. And then if you look at it just like an overview, he's honestly one of the most talented quarterbacks I've watched in college football. He has the tools, the elite arm, and the improvising skills to make every play special. He's a former Heisman winner who had tremendous success in the college system under Lincoln Riley. However, while it's okay to be a dual threat quarterback that can scramble and improvise outside the pocket, he will need to learn to sit in the pocket and run an actual pro playbook in the NFL. He gets away with way too many plays because he's a superstar, and he won't have all day to throw at the NFL level, which could be a tough transition if he's drafted by a bad team with a bad O-line. I'm not sold on him being the quarterback 1, quarterback 2, or even a top 10 pick, but I do think he is a first-round talent. I think he has too much talent to be a bust, but I have a hard time seeing him live up to his draft status with how he plays the game right now. So again, kind of controversial, but that's my draft analysis on Caleb Williams. And then at number 2, I have Drake May from North Carolina. He's 6'4", 230 pounds. He's a dual threat B quarterback as well. His 2023 stats, he had 3,600 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, a 63.6 completion percentage, and 79.3 QBR. When you look at his grading, based on the 5 grading points that I had him as an 88, which is an early first round, top 10 pick for sure. His quarterback comparison to me is Justin Herbert. I think they both have the size, the arm talent, the improvising skills that can, get outside the pocket and make some plays with their legs as well. And it shows with his pros. He's got the arm strength, he's got mobility. He actually goes through his progressions really well. But in return, he also has a slow release, and he can be a bit indecisive instead of getting the ball out quick. And he has shown inaccuracy as well. So some potential landing spots. I had the Bears. Not sure what they're going to do at quarterback, but their potential spot, the New England Patriots, and the Washington Commanders. So looking at him at an overview of Drake May, he has the prototypical size. He's 6'4". He's got the mobility. He's got the rocket arm that NFL scouts drool over. He's a young prospect, younger than most of these prospects this year, with only 2 full seasons of experience under his belt. Yet he plays like a vet more than a rookie. This allows him to go through progressions as well as anyone. He's got the best combination of deep ball strength and accuracy, yet he poses a threat as an effective runner as well. He seems to have a level head on his shoulders, the competitive spirit and talent that can make him quarterback 1 in this draft class. His flaws, however, include some mild indecisiveness, slight inaccuracy concerns, a slower throwing release, and late anticipation when his receivers break their routes. He's a first-round talent that will go in the top 5 and possibly number 1 overall, depending on who's picking him. And then at number 1, I have Jaden Daniels from LSU. He's 6'4", 210 pounds, and he's a pure dual-threat quarterback. So he is more of a run-first quarterback, but he has the ability to throw the ball as well. When you're looking at his 2023 stats, he had 3,800 passing yards, 40 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 72.2 completion percentage, and a 95.7 QBR. Based on his his grade, I gave him a 90, which is an early first. It's the highest grade I gave a quarterback this year. His quarterback comparison is, to me, it's Lamar Jackson. He's got the arm. He's an athlete. He's a leader on and off the field, and he's a playmaker as well. You just watch his plays. There's a reason why he won the Heisman. He's a special player for sure, and he's going to be really tough to stop at the NFL level. Some things that he can improve on: protection. Because he's a run-first quarterback, he needs to learn how to slide and avoid hits. And he's also kind of on a lighter frame, so he might need to add some weight as well. And plus, he has a problem with touch. Sometimes he puts the ball in a little too hot, which causes receivers to drop the ball. And he's going to have to learn to throw with a little bit more touch at the NFL level. So looking at him from an overview, Jaden Daniels is someone that I've been watching tape on since his Arizona State days, so 2 years ago. And it's amazing to see how much he's improved since he got to LSU. He is a DC's nightmare. First, his passing skills are elite. He's got a nuke for an arm, lightning fast release, and he's an excellent marksman when it comes to accuracy. But he's also deadly as a runner as well. When you combine the two, you get a dynamic playmaker and the 2023 Heisman winner. He also has the production, the size, and leadership you look for in a quarterback 1. However, his flaws include not sliding to protect himself, being run first at times, hanging on to the ball for too long, and he struggles to use touch when he makes fastballs more receiver friendly. I think Jaden Daniels might be the most complete quarterback in this draft as a runner and passer. He has a lot of college experience, and I see him as a better throwing Lamar Jackson type player. He's sure to turn some heads and make scouts consider taking him number 1 overall after his combine and pro days. So those are my top 5 quarterback prospects for the 2024 NFL draft. Again, I know it's going to be controversial, but those are my evaluations on these guys. Again, I think all these guys have potential to do well in the NFL. Obviously, the quarterback position is the toughest to evaluate, and I think, unfortunately, it's very unlikely that all 5 of these quarterbacks have true success in the NFL. Just statistically wise, not everyone's going to come in and have success. You know, not everyone has what it takes to be an NFL quarterback. They can play really great in college, but then they could bomb it in the NFL, and vice versa. They could play not well in college, but then they could come out and do really well in the NFL. So with that being said, you got to take it with a grain of salt, but those are my top 5 quarterbacks. I do have Jaden Daniels as my number 1, and I'm pretty set in stone on that, so it's going to be hard to convince me otherwise. But yeah, I would say Caleb Williams, big thing. I think he's overhyped. I think that he might be a letdown. So we'll just have to wait and see. But I hope you guys enjoy the video. Like, comment, and subscribe for the more content. And as always, Lions fans and NFL fans, stay hungry.